What's up, everybody? This is your boy Quaz coming at you with another PD podcast show for you of the Quazemoto show. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, it's late night again. I'm heading out to the gym about 10 o'clock, 10:30, and that's when I like to go to the gym. I don't like it crowdy. I like it. I like to have a gym all by myself, all to myself, I should say. It's Monday night, and I was watching the Panthers Colts game. They just finished halftime. I think Panthers are up 10-6. I got money on it, pulling for the Panthers. Had a terrible weekend. The only good thing was that my Gators won, and I put money down on my Gators. Other than that, I lost everything. I lost a parlay on Thursday night. I lost a parlay on Saturday games, and I lost a parlay on Sunday games, and I lost money on the Falcons, who couldn't beat the fucking Buccaneers at home. So had a pretty shitty weekend. But I just finished watching a movie. Now, you folks listening to this, well, pretty much everyone that's listening to this, maybe out of all the people listening to this, maybe 10% of the listening audience might understand or might know the movie, I should say, that I'm talking about. It was a Bollywood movie. For those of you that don't know, Bollywood is the movie industry coming out of India, based in India, movies that come out of India, or Indian movies, let's say that. Bollywood borrowed its name from Hollywood as a combination of Hollywood and Bombay, the old city, Bombay. The old British city, Bombay, I should say. Now, just recently, about a couple of years ago, when the British turned over power back to India, they changed a lot of the city's name from the British names back to the Indian name. Now, Bombay, what used to be called Bombay, is now back to being called Mumbai. So the name Bollywood is kind of defunct, but no one really cares, and no one's really going to bother changing Bollywood to Mumbai Wood or something. Bollywood fits. Anyways, a little cinematic history lesson for you on Bollywood. Anyways, I watched this movie that just came out called Bajrangi Bhaijaan. I don't know what the fuck the title means. I just know the second word, Bhaijaan, means brother. But anyways, it stars Salman Khan, who's like one of the big actors in Hollywood. He's known mostly for his muscles, and primarily for his muscles, secondarily for his acting. He's always been compared to Shah Rukh Khan, and without losing most of my audience and going too deeply into Bollywood recent history, Shah Rukh Khan's the reigning number one, actor in India and Bollywood, and Salman Khan's number two, and it's been that way for a while. When Salman Khan came out with this movie, and it got rave reviews, it got critical reviews, and my wife was watching it over the weekend. I watched about a half hour of it, and it was pretty good, and I was like, I promised myself I'm going to watch all of it. So I watched it tonight. I watched it with my 12-year-old daughter. My other family members, dropped in and out in between the movie and watched bits and pieces of it. My wife watched it. My oldest son watched parts of it, but it was my second daughter and I that watched all of it, and I really liked it. I like the storyline. I like the acting. I like the premise. I like the subplots and everything. And I like the political aspect of it primarily. And now the story is about Salman Khan, the lead actor. He is this boy that was raised in India, religiously and devotedly devoted to his religion. But along the way, the storyline. Well, to describe it and not give too much away, though I doubt a lot of my audience members are going to go out and watch this, except for the ones that watch Bollywood movies. Story centers around Salman Khan and this 9-year-old girl. Salman Khan's from India, and this 9-year-old girl is from Pakistan, my country. And she somehow lost her way from her families in the mountains of Kashmir and ended up in Salman Khan's city of Kashrapati, if I'm not mistaken. And she sees Salman Khan, and he's this he looks like his big brother, fatherly figure to her, and she just latches on to him. And she's a mute, she's deaf, right? So Salman Khan is trying to ask, hey, where are you from? Are you lost? Etc., etc. The girl can't answer, but Salman Khan takes a liking to her. She's like, okay, I can't leave you here by yourself, of course. And then slowly and surely, Salman Khan finds out the girl is from Pakistan, but he just doesn't want to leave her. He tries to get her back to Pakistan, through means, by having other people take her or contacting the police, trying to find her parents, etc. Nothing works, right? So then he just takes it upon himself that I'm going to take this girl. It's my religious duty. I'm going to take this girl back to Pakistan. Along the way, the subplots were, along the traditional history of India and Pakistan, the hatred between the two countries and the religious difference between the two countries, India being Hindu, Pakistan being Islamic. And those subplots, or those little stories, make their ways along the way. Where Salman Khan, he refuses to enter a Islamic mosque, because it's against his religion. The girl is a Muslim, of course, and her religion is Islam, and whatnot. So the cultural and religious differences are definitely there. And along the way, Salman Khan, through the girl's simplistic ways, sees that biases can be overcome, and he sees it, he realizes it, and then slowly but surely, this becomes a whole political drama where the two countries realize, on certain aspects, we have to overcome our differences for the common good, getting this girl back to her country. And then, without giving away too much, again, Salman Khan becomes a political prisoner, and then he needs to be released, etc., etc. So again, without being given away too much, that's the gist of it. But great story, great story. High drama, a lot of tear-jerk moments. So, if you guys are into it, I highly recommend it. All my Desi brothers and sisters will definitely write in and say, finally, thank you, talking about Bollywood and Bollywood movies and so forth. They had asked about that, when you're going to talk about that, because I had done it on previous shows when I was podcasting on Spreaker and Facebook and whatnot. My Desis, brothers and sisters will always chime in and say, you got to talk more Bollywood, etc., etc., right? So there you go. Go check it out. Even if you don't understand, and thinking there's a language barrier and whatnot, they got subtitles. My daughter, even though she understands Urdu and Hindi, they're both spoken the same. She barely speaks it, and kind of she has a general knowledge of understanding it, comprehending it. But she watched the whole movie and she loved it. So take it for what it is, and go check it out. Pretty good movie, highly recommend it. So I was pleasantly surprised watching that. But getting back to news and specifically sports. A lot of listeners, chimed in, and they were saying, thank you for talking about baseball and basketball, even if it was, in a derogatory light. It wasn't in a derogatory light. It is what it is. I'm not a big baseball fan. I am a basketball fan, but not as much as I am a football fan. All right, and it is what it is, right? The Kansas City Royals, they did win the World Series. I think like early this Monday morning, at 1 o'clock in the morning, they won it. do I care? Not, I would struggle. I mean, I wouldn't even struggle right now to say who they beat. I think it was, did they play the Mets, right? Shoot, again, if you put a gun to my head, I couldn't even tell you who were in the playoffs. I think maybe the Mets. I think Chicago Cubs were in it, and the Royals, the Mets, and some other teams. But anyways, whatever. A lot of listeners were asking, who do you like in the NBA playoff? I mean, in the NBA, who to win it all? I really don't know. Last year's champion, the Golden State Warriors. Can they repeat? Maybe they got a good chance to repeating. But the West, the NBA West, always heavily stacked, and they always got the good players. You got the good teams, I should say. OKC, San Antonio, the Clippers, the Rockets, all looking to take down the Golden State Warriors. Nothing against the Golden State Warriors, they have a strong chance of repeating, but there's a lot of teams that are vying for them. The Mavericks, the Trailblazers, the Trailblazers who I personally like, Lakers, I don't think they'll have a chance now with the aging Kobe and that hurting lineup. In the East, will Cleveland make it back to the finals? I don't think so. LeBron's hurting, and the team's poo-poo. I think we might have images of Larry Bird and Charles Barkley of LeBron doing the same thing. Laying on his stomach, trying to, massage his back, and because if he's having back problems now, he's going to have back problems in the future. Back injuries you cannot cure. You cannot pinpoint them. You cannot cure them. They're always going to be there. They're always going to nag and hassle at you. So if LeBron's having it now, it's an indication of what to come. And if he decides to play through pain, even if he decides to take painkillers and whatnot, that's on him. That's his warrior mentality. If that's what he wants to do, good for him. But who do I like coming out of the East? I'm a homer. I'm rooting for the Wizards, or the Bullets, as I still like to call them. I think they'll go deep. Even without Antonio Pierce going to the Clippers, I think they still got a strong lineup. Will they get to the finals? No. Conference finals, maybe. I like the Bulls again. Cavaliers will make the playoffs, right? Just because the East is such a weak conference. Milwaukee Bucks, will get in there. That's like who I can name off the top of my head. The three teams. Knicks, they might make the playoffs. If they finally get it together. And Carmelo finally learns to pass the ball. I don't want to bore you with a lot of NBA talk, because right now we're in the middle of football season, and my beloved Fl Gators, they did beat Georgia in Jacksonville, in the bowl known as the world's biggest cocktail party. I watched the whole game. I don't say the whole game. I watched most of it. And in between, I was flicking channels back and forth through other games and whatnot. And then at one point, I caught myself watching Ridiculousness, that Funny Clips show with Rob Dyrdek. And actually, I was watching Chanel Westcoast, and I was staring at her. I'm like, is Chanel Westcoast hot? I was sitting there looking at her, staring at her. Some episodes when I see her, I'm like, nah, she's not that money. She's not that money. Looks a little busted. And then other shows, she looks really good, especially when she's showing her boobs. When she's wearing a low-cut dress and and a mini skirt, and she's showing her boobs and her legs, she looks good. She looks bangable. And then other times when she just like comes out, in a Slayer tank top and trying to be all yo girl and whatnot. I'm like, I don't know. With her rainbow bright hair and whatnot, kind of a turn off. But I think Chanel Westcoast is hot. I'll give it that much. And the other thing, I was watching Terminator Salvation, right? Now, a lot of critics, they panned that movie, saying it was horrible. I haven't seen Terminator, the new one, the one that just came out this past June. Other people, a lot of critics were saying that was better than Salvation. I liked Salvation. I liked Christian Bale in it. I liked that guy from Avatar who played the new Terminator in it, and I like the story twist on it. They could, with that story twist, they can carry that franchise for another 10 years. If everything's done right. But then when I saw the previews of the new Terminator, and you see 80-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger coming out, and still trying to do his Terminator thing, I'm like, what the fuck? WTF, man? Really? You still trying to do that, Arnold? Fuck, man, get the fuck out of here. But I got it in my Netflix queue. I'm gonna watch it. I was thinking that Terminator, not Judgment Day, but Rise of the Machines, right? That was terrible, with Nick Stahl. And I like Claire Danes. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Claire Danes fan from back in my So-Called Life days, and Gerard Leto, right? In my So-Called Life, but that Rise of the Machines was horrible. The only good thing was like the female Terminator, who was hot, But that was like a 60-year-old Arnold in that, still trying to play the Terminator. It didn't. I was like, oh, this is painful to watch. Only good parts were the action scenes. The storyline was horrible. We knew what was going to happen. Okay, machines take over and everything, whatnot. Blah 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 blah. But I like Salvation. I like the story twist, and I like that chick that Asian chick that was the love interest for the Terminator. She was hot, something Moon Blood or Moon Good or something, Native American. She was hot, man. Google her. She's a little piece of ass. I was like, God damn, she's a hottie. My boy D, he keeps calling and texting me, say, yo man, am I fired from the show? We're not even at that point where I can be firing people, but you're not fired. I'm just trying to figure this shit out. I'm doing my little podcast off of my iPhone. I'm doing like 15, 17 minutes, vignettes, little clippets, snippets, whatnot. It's kind of frustrating because D and I, back in the days, we used to do 2-3 hour shows, and the listeners used to love it. They used to regularly listen and chime in saying, yo, we love the show, we love the format, we love Quaz, we love D, keep it going. And now I'm getting a lot of feedback like, what's going on? I like it's on YouTube, but the show's too short, 15 minutes, and where's D? D's MIA, And no, I'm just going to confirm it right now. D hasn't been kidnapped by Martians again. He's still on planet Earth. I know that for a fact. Where on planet Earth, I don't know. I think last time he checked in, he was in New York City. But I really don't know. College football playoffs, the top 4 are going to be released tomorrow, Election Day. My quick predictions, Ohio State's going to get it just because they're number 1 and undefeated, though they can easily be toppled between now and end of the season. Ohio State's going to get a nod. I think Baylor will get a nod. TCU may get a nod. And then the number 4 spot's up for grabs after that. A lot of people are saying Alabama, Michigan State, Clemson, a whole bunch of teams vying for that number 4 spot. Right now, I'm going to give it to Michigan State. I think they're the most deserving. Not necessarily Clemson. Michigan State just had a tougher schedule. Ohio State, TCU, Baylor, 2, 3. You can flip those back and forth. And then Michigan State, number 4. That is just, that's from this week. And they're going to have, releases every week from now until the end of the season. And those spots are definitely going to change with Baylor and TCU having tougher schedules. But, both Baylor and TCU are going to play each other. And both Ohio State and Michigan State are going to play each other. So we know this lineup's going to change. That's a guarantee. If we have those 4 in it, we know that's going to change. I think, for sure that, the top 4 is going to change between now and the end of the season. The only thing I'm rooting for is my Gators to somehow squeak in and get a spot. Right now, they're in the driver's seat for the SEC East and getting a chance to play in the SEC championship game. They just got to win out. Their biggest game remaining is the end of the season game against Florida State. And I think we can do it. Our defense is strong. I think we can do it. I'm going on 19 minutes. Let me cut it off right now. I'm going to say go Gators. Please send me your love, your emails, your whatever, your hate mail. I do get that. Quazemoto@gmail.com. Thank you for all the love and support to everyone out there listening, and I'll see everybody next time. Peace. Gotta go work out.